Welcome to the Explain It podcast with Cain and Ingryd Hernandez. Today, Cain is hanging out with her family. And to substitute for her is my Bash Bros, Eddie Marin, or like I like to say, Eddie Marin. And you probably don't want those addresses up there, by the way.
What's that?
You want those addresses up there?
These are all our pending deals.
Oh, you know, it's where all their deals are getting done. And Tyler. So we're scrambling because the room we went to didn't have good internet, so we couldn't link on. So I appreciate everybody that's on here. You get to see their movement behind us. While we're getting set up, let us know where you're from. Oh, and he's got to clean that camera.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, yeah. Way better.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can actually see myself.
Yeah. Okay. So, like I said, we're with the Bash Bros today. So happy that you guys are here. If you're coming from wherever you are, can't wait to answer any of your questions you have. We want to also talk about all the deals that these boys are doing, how we are doing deals with folks who've maybe never done deals before. Being that we're the Arizona regional leaders, you can come to us and we can help you with your first deals. And again, like typical, we're just problem solving. And see these boys, they're like solving problems. So like, let's figure this out. How are we gonna do this podcast? So what do we got here? Cowboy Creative 24s from Whitman, Arizona.
Let's go.
We got Brooke, we got Deborah. I'm gonna go live on my Instagram because people tend to forget that we go live on YouTube, and we want to make sure that they know we're live, and you guys should all come to YouTube to come ask us questions. So anywho, I don't know what this table is happening. Boys, are you going to come and sit down and talk to me? So
We are.
Yeah.
Come on over.
Yeah, come over here.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh.
We're going to connect you here.
Oh, I don't know what's happening. Okay. You guys tell me.
Bring the people over here.
Okay, go for it. Come to YouTube, guys. All right.
Who we got? Cowboy Creative.
All right.
Let's see. Is that on picture?
Pause due to poor connection.
There it is. Is that it?
Yeah, I just tend to do a live on. Don't worry about it.
Let's
Okay.
start this back just a
All
little
right. All right, here we go. I can't read anything anybody's leaving comments on. So,
But I think we can put it up here on this one. What do
okay,
you think?
cool. Sure, you can join. And then I just have to kind of allow you access. You may not be able to see the comments because
Because of the guest.
it's a guest link. Yeah. Gosh, is this your casting couch, boys?
This is.
Yeah,
Right on.
this is.
So, again, if you're on Instagram, come check us out on YouTube. You can go to my page on Ingryd Hernandez, Ingryd with a Y. But anyway, okay, here we go. And then go to comments on there.
Boom.
Thank you, everybody, for your patience while we do this. Hi, Maureen. I see you out there. Hopefully, you guys can hear us okay. Anyways, the reason we want to do this podcast, one, we saw the opportunity since, Caroline wasn't going to be around, and I don't like doing my podcast by myself. But two, these are my brothers, literally my Bash brothers, and we do business together. We bought our latest flip. Well, not the latest, but one of our latest flips from them. They are super active. They have this amazing space that we're in, actually. And we want to talk a little bit about what we've been up to. So all three of us were named as Arizona regional leaders in our SubTo mentorship. And what the hell does that mean? I mean, that means we have the awesome responsibility of helping people get their first deals, coaching them through their deals, and literally using us as your guides to get those deals done. And we're trusted individuals in this community, meaning it's, again, an awesome responsibility for us to be ethical and to help you get those deals. So
I agree.
So tell me, boys, how long have you guys been doing this? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
So you want to start?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, thank you for having us on. We miss Caroline so much. Wish she could be here, but we are glad to fill in for this episode. Yeah. So with us being in real estate, I mean, Eddie and I joined 3 years ago. It was kind of funny because we just told this story on another podcast, but at the time we were living together, and one day he comes home and
Wait, living together?
like roommates.
Oh,
type
okay,
thing.
okay. Just checking.
And Kaylin was with us
Oh,
too,
okay,
so
good.
it was kind
That
of
makes that more sense.
kind
Yeah.
of like
And she was like in the middle, kind of.
Okay, yeah. Sandwich. I understand.
yeah. So one day he comes home and he's having this weird anxiety like attack, and I've never seen him have anything like this.
For real?
And
Okay.
I was kind of freaking out a little bit because I've never seen him like that. And he's like, hey, I've been in this car business for so long. I don't want to deal with it anymore. And I said, okay, well, what do you want to do? And we basically came up with real estate right there on the spot. I was like, well, we can jump into real estate. And he's like, okay, well, I did real estate. I don't want to go back to the cold calling. I don't want to, because he was doing real estate before, and he was doing the cold calling and getting yelled at and screamed at and cussed out.
Well, the thing was too, so to add to that, that's context, right? So back when we were doing like life insurance together, right? Like he hated it, I hated it. It's not that we hated it, it was just a whole different ball game, different kind of industry, right? So Cody Barton, before Pace and Cody became partners, was actually did insurance with us before. We knew Cody from back in the Vima days, right?
Yeah.
And so I reconnected with him. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? What are you up to now? Because he did insurance with us.
Oh.
And so he did it for like a month, and he was like, I'm out. Like, I'm done. And so he went back to real estate, what he was doing. He was an agent / wholesaling at the time. And then he just stuck to wholesaling. So I saw that he was still making money doing all this stuff. And I'm like, show me a little bit more. So that's when Tyler said I had previous real estate experience, that I tried it simultaneously with the life insurance. And I was cold calling, door knocking, doing all this stuff with my brother-in-law, just going out, trying to make it work, right? But it required, we didn't know what we were doing, didn't have any direction, didn't have anything at all. And so literally I wouldn't do anything besides work, besides just calling nonstop, door knocking, trying to figure out whatever it was, in addition to my life insurance. And that's when I stopped doing that, because I literally ran out of money, literally didn't have money to go get my rent, to pay my rent the next day. So I joined the car business world, got myself back on the feet. And, by the time I had this anxiety attack, it was interesting because I don't get anxiety attacks. But what happened was that I got stuck in this, like, I'm making over 6 figures 2 years in a row now. So I paid off all my debt. I've saved up enough money. And now I'm like, I don't have any issues. But why am I feeling this way? In reality I was like trying to get pinpoint to the bottom of this. And I was, with my ex-girlfriend, they brought me back to Christ, right? Because I'm a recovering Catholic. Everybody out there, I love you guys. But reality, I was a recovering Catholic. I just didn't understand it. It was extra, went back. And so then I started reading the Bible, the New Testament, went through it every single day, listened to everything. And next thing all of a sudden was like, God puts this dream inside you, knowing that you're meant for more. Everybody here is meant for more. So when you're stuck in this 9-to-5 habit over and over and over again, it gets to a point where you're just living, you're going by, you're not making an impact on the people around you, or serving a servant, or any of whatnot. So that's when it got to a point where I just kept ignoring him. And then eventually it felt like he put me in this box. He goes, you're going to listen to me now. And that's when I'm like, I need to get out of this box. And that's when I called up Tyler outside, and I'm like, dude, I was at the dealership. I remember this. I was on the dirt lot. Literally, I was like, dude, we got to do something. He goes, bro, like anything you want to do. Like that's how I know he's a true brother. He's like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, bro, we got to do something out of this. Like, we got to figure it out. We got to go. And I'm like, the real estate. But this time we're not doing anything wholesaling at all, because that absolutely is the worst thing that anybody can do, is cold call sellers at the peak of the market, when all the market was going up, and everybody's like, dude, I can literally throw my hand up saying I want to sell, and I'm going to make 30 grand or like 130 grand more than what you're offering me.
Right.
So that's how it all, like, that's how, and then he, that's where I wanted to give some context behind that right there. But
Yeah, it's funny because I was also in real estate technically before this with my dad, him passing, and he left a couple houses to me. One in Arizona, one in Washington. I don't want to go into the whole story, but I didn't lose a lot of money. I missed out on a lot of money.
Yeah.
I fixed up this house. There was a bad tenant in there. Luckily got him out and listed it. And it was like the day before the whole country shut down from COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So house ended up selling for $550. I had it listed for $525. That was amazing. And then 2 years later, I get a text that says, "Hey, your property's listed. Your old house was listed again." I'm like, "Okay, what's it listed for?" It's listed for $795. 2 years later, like I'm beating myself up.
Still beating myself up.
Yeah, clearly. And I'm looking at it. Next day I look at it again, and then it says pending. I'm like, okay, well, what did it sell for? 800, 810. A month later, the thing sells. What do you think it sells for?
860.
$950. When it sold 2 years ago for $550,
Wow.
all they did was just put a fence around it, and then they sold it. So
wow.
The other funny thing on that too was obviously we're in SubTo, which
Were they investors that owned that property?
that was my dad.
No.
Oh
People
no,
bought it from you.
it was a family.
Well, then you need to think of it more of like you were able to
Yeah.
capacitate a family to go and do better things, and that blessing in their family,
That's
they
true.
probably are now in a more healthier financial way. Like that was the vehicle they were able to
That's a way healthier way to look at it.
100%. Now, if it was an investor, I'm sure you could feel like
Yeah.
a bit stronger about it. But if it was a family, like, wow, the American dream right there,
Yeah.
honestly.
I
And it's
hope-
an accelerated American dream.
I hope they had a really, really, really nice vacation because of it.
100%. I mean, thank God, but hopefully they left Washington. Though. That's what it was.
I hope so.
True.
Good golly. Okay.
The one other thing,
Yeah.
obviously we're in SubTo, so we take over people's mortgages. I actually did a SubTo on my dad's house. I didn't do the paperwork per se, but he had the loan. I kept making the payments on it. Actually transferred the deed to my name, so I legit did a SubTo before I knew SubTo was even a thing.
That's so awesome.
And then we joined SubTo.
I subtued my very first car, and I didn't know I did that too. My friend's parents had this 1989 Toyota Camry, and beige, and it had like the seatbelt. The seatbelt just goes like, "Oh, I'm putting my seatbelt on because my
The
car
slider.
makes me." And they're like, "Well, we don't want this car anymore." And I was like, "Well, can I just make payments? And here's like how much I'll pay you." And they're like, "Okay." And I think I bought it for like $2,000.
That's
But
hilarious.
I could only afford like $150 a month. I mean, I was a college kid. I had like 3 jobs, and so
Yeah.
I subtued my first car, and I had no idea.
Wow.
So okay, I love it. You guys kind of had like a intrinsic and like visceral feeling of there's more to do than that, like that role you were playing at that
Yeah,
time.
100%. And 9 to 5. By the time we started and quit 6 months later, do I recommend that? Sorry, recommend that to everybody?
Mhm.
The answer is take advantage of your W-2 every step of the way. So we started
100%.
what was the date that we started? You got the actual date we officially.
In SubTo, we made the payment on March 29th, 2021.
Yeah. So there you go. So a little bit over 3 years ago.
Oh,
did we get
you guys
started.
joined literally like 2 months after
March
I did.
29th.
I think mine's like January 17th.
Oh, so our
18th or
3 year just came by.
Yeah.
We didn't celebrate that.
Oh, dang.
I had a post, but I didn't post it.
something. Sounds like Tyler.
I almost bought you a Ferrari, but I didn't buy it.
You should.
So, Eddie, I think you and I kind of been going back and forth a little bit. So when you left your W-2, your safety net, you went ham, where I'm sure I sounded like a broken record to some extent. Like, all right, boys, I know I'm going to quit in the next quarter, and then the next quarter comes, and I wasn't leaving because something was telling me that things were too good staying where I was at and using that. I just watched a Zoom with Cody Sanchez and Pace Morby, and they talked about that's because your job is your cash flow injection into your ability to move. And I think Cody gave a very specific statistic that say you're 33% more likely to be successful if you leverage your W-2 for that transition of being a business owner.
Correct. Yeah.
Like, guys, what is it, like 1 in 5 companies fail, or maybe even more than that? I don't
think it's more
remember.
than that. It's like 1 in, like, it's like 9 out of 10 fail for
Yeah.
the first 5 years.
So you need all those, like,
First 3 years.
all those hedges that's going to give you that advance for you to be able to succeed as a business person.
100%.
So I think Eddie and we've talked about, like, if you could go back and do things slightly different, you probably would have transitioned a bit more versus going,
Cut
you know.
Yeah.
And I know people have this burn the boats.
That's
but
what I did.
Yeah, but I 100% believe that if you don't have the right personality for the burn the boats approach, like what is going to be at the end of the formula for you is going to be a lot harder.
Right.
And you're going to suffer way more than you have to.
Mm-hmm.
Where for me, I didn't have to have that approach. I had the privilege of having a really well-paying W-2. Now, mind you, I didn't elect to leave. I was let go. There was downsizing at my company, but it was a much smoother transition. And I mean, I still had anxiety. It's only been less than 2 months.
And you're still gonna get it for the first 6 months, I'd say. Easily.
Yeah.
Because you're not getting that same flux of, like, here's the thing, like exactly what you're feeling, and I'm gonna let you continue a second,
No,
just for a
of course.
second. Think of it this way. I was making 142,000 was the last before I left. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
142,000, divide that by 12.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a little bit over,
12,000-ish.
ish, right?
Mhm.
So or
I love
11,000
that,
and change.
Mhm.
So imagine how many houses, how many deals do you have to sell, buy, rent out in order for you to stay in that same livelihood or bills? And again, I learned it the first time by getting myself into really bad debt, paying it all off. And then now they're living pretty frugal in a sense, right? But essentially, how much do I have to make to maintain that level of life that I have before leaving that W-2, right? How many deals do I have to be consistently with, right? And again, each deal doesn't mean you make 10 grand on an assignment, doesn't mean you bring it home. That means, hey, cool, go pay all your expenses, then whatever's remaining, possibly you can buy yourself, some food, right? But removing $140,000 from your sheet, from your profit and loss statement on a personal, it's crazy. Because that's what I didn't think of at the time, because I'm like, oh my God, we have $180,000 of assignments in escrow, time to quit.
Yeah.
And then out of that 180,000, how much closed? Maybe 20.
Really?
Yeah.
20 grand out of 180.
And
I'd have been pooping my pants.
Oh, I mean, think about it. Yeah, 100%, right?
Wow.
Yeah. But teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Yeah.
If I was on my own, for sure, I would have been in the hole.
Yeah.
1,000% guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
And have someone that backs you up and vice versa, you're going to go through it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Do
saying?
you think you would have just gone back to like a car dealership job, at least to kind of get through that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I would have had to
If
go
you
back.
didn't have time.
Yeah, I would. Well, the thing is, that same one ended up being a really good company that it's a family business. I'm the one that helped them from their average profit from 23 to $6,700 per unit, and the amount of cars were. It was just they went from here to here very quickly, and we talk about it. And, it's
you
just,
didn't burn that bridge.
Correct. No.
That's something that technically you could go, and that's kind of how I feel right now. Again, not even 2 months, where it's like, if I have to, I feel like I know so many people in the data space that I could go get a job even if it wasn't at a director.
Correct. Yeah.
Don't let that make you complacent.
There you go.
No, 100%. I was talking about Sam Singh about this, because he said that's going to be my biggest risk when you have that out, getting complacent and not putting in the work because you have that out. And I told him, I go, kiddo, I've been in corporate for almost 20 years, chasing a title that didn't exist for females. Having a director title in the food service space that I was in did not exist. So it took a lot of grinding and dedication and persistence. And so, your life every single day is practice.
Yeah.
And so my corporate job was my practice on whether or not I have that stick to itness. So I feel like I'm good in that department, but you're absolutely right. Somebody without the right mindset is going to.
Right mindset, right people around you for sure. Because that's
totally.
the thing. Like, for example, like if I would have stuck, like I love my family. They're like, you know, I love them and, you know, whatnot, right? And are they the best people in the whole wide world? No. Do they love me? Yes. Right. But I'm just being truth. Not every family member is like the best of the best, but I will always back them. I will always be there for them. I will always be the support. Right. But reality is that your family sometimes don't want you to fail or don't want you to have issues. So like, for example, you know, you get out of this 6-figure paying job and all of a sudden they start dropping comments like, hey, you can always still go work part-time. And these little comments start to get in your brain and start to eat you. And those are the comments that you got to push away in order to be like, in order to go burn the ships. It means literally
focus.
Burn the ships and don't talk or don't even talk about what you're doing or how you're doing around the people you love sometimes, because they're the ones that are eventually going to stop you from not having those second thoughts to say, I need to go get my data job because I still know I can do it, right? Yeah. But it's one of those things where it's like, I don't even look at the dealership world anymore. Yeah. The only reason I'm looking at dealership worlds, like now, it's either A, to figure out how I can solve a problem for them, but not to join them. Yeah. Right. So it's like, that was the biggest takeaway for me when it came down to leaving my W-2 was I love family, always been there, blah, 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 but they're most likely not going to be the people that are going to get you to the next step, but they may be the people that stop you from getting to the next step too. Yeah. So
that's very, very true. I think I'm very blessed to have my Bash Bros around me. Like, I think about the people in my phone who like want me to succeed. And generally, okay, so here's how it went when I lost my job. Everyone who I knew had a corporate job, they'd be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Are you going to be okay? Like, you know, are you all right? And then all my entrepreneur friends are like, finally, go for it, you know, kick some ass. And so it was such a different dynamic. But what's really amazing about these entrepreneur friends like Eddie and Tyler is that you guys are so encouraging, and other friends of mine too. I've had a couple other guys who are like, hey, do you need some free like video filming? I'd love to help you with your content, you know, whatever edge we can help you with so that, you know, you're successful. And I'm like, what a blessing. What a blessing that, and all of them, I have to say all of them I found in SubTo. Yeah. Like all my friends who are like down and like, we want you to succeed in entrepreneurship. I would say with the exception of a couple of people that like, they're like our private money lenders that we met, and they're doing this with us, you know, in some regard. My friend Maria, my friend Javi, they're like, yeah, go for it, Ingrid. Like, you know, that job will always be there for you. Just go and try it. And so I'm like very thankful for them too. But, and this is why we're here. Like, this is what the episode about today is. Get into that environment that's going to help you win. And again, you're not going to get this kind of pressure from myself, Tyler, and Eddie that says, oh yeah, quit your day job and go in all of real estate. No, none of us have that perspective, even though, you know, the way Eddie and Tyler went for it may have been that approach. Mine was not that approach, but we want you, like, regardless, what we want is for you to succeed. And part of that is creating ways for folks to do deals with us, right? So one of the things that's amazing about you guys is we're now in this leadership role, and you're like, what are we going to do with this leadership role? And you guys have decided to start your own power hour. Mm-hmm. So when is your power hour? Who's allowed to join? And then how do people get the opportunity to be invited?
Good question. Yeah. So we've been doing this power hour. It's called AZ Power Hour for over a year now. And we started it at the office that we had in North Scottsdale, obviously moved down here. That came with us. But it's every Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. except this next Friday and potentially the following Friday because we may not be in town.
So the next 2 Fridays, we're heading to Squad Up. Yep. So like that's why we're going to go meet all these other communities. So it's okay, Tyler.
Yeah. I mean, I hate missing it, especially like 2 weeks in a row. You know, you want to stay consistent, but it's for a good reason.
But actually, just letting you guys know, stay in touch if you are interested in coming out to these AZ Power Hours this Friday. It's still a chance that we will still run it because we have our other team, Shad and Nancy, that they come in and they bring the leads over to us. They said that, we still haven't officially said no, but they may be able to come in and also still run AZ Power Hour for this Friday in general, just to keep people engaged, keep people coming as well.
Yeah, I mean that's like honestly, you start running it more like a business, even though you're having these meetups, powers. Like, how do you get to go and do other things while you have other folks you trust to manage it?
100%.
Yeah.
But I mean, basically, Power Hour is people come in, they're newbies, they can be seasoned, and we give them a list of like leads to call, hot leads that people said that they wanted to sell their house at a certain point in time, and we just get them more confidence on the phone. We get them, actually having good seller conversations. It's crazy. At the old office, there was another girl who came. The first call that she ever made, we put her on the phones, and she gets this guy named Ron. And initially, he's like, "Yeah, I don't want to sell, blah, 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 blah." She kept asking questions. We kept telling her, "Hey, ask this, ask that." He said, "Yeah, well, I have tenants in there. I don't want to sell." And she said, "Well, we buy properties with tenants in them. If we could do that, would you be open to selling?" He's like, "Whoa." Like a light bulb went off in his head.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, yeah, then I would be interested in selling." And that led to a couple more conversations. And then finally we got him under contract, and we have a novation deal. I don't know if you want me to go into that. Basically, we're partnering with him, and we have it listed, but we should probably make 30 to 50,000 off that one call from a girl who's never made a seller call in her entire life.
But she had you guys right there.
We're whispering in her ear.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
100%.
Wouldn't you guys want that? Would you want a Tyler and an Eddie right next to you while you're making that nerve-wracking call and you're trying to have those conversations with the sellers? Actually, this week we had Marin, who I know is in the audience, and Jennifer Boughton or Boughton, I'm not sure how I say her last name, so it's great. They came to my office this week and we did a couple of agent outreach. Literally one call. This gal didn't want, it was a listing, and I'm just talking to her. Literally, I'm just talking to her. And she's like, so things might not work out for that listing. I just happened to ask her, hey, well, do you have any other problems that with your listings or other properties? I really love ugly houses, give some cash for those. And literally that one call, she had 3 other leads for me. This is why I love, you guys can keep talking your shit about agents.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll take all the agents, even the pain in the ass ones, because I will filter through them. I will figure out how to win them over. And I will know, that's what happens.
That's a great question that you asked. You don't ask, do you have anything else? You ask, what problem properties do you have that you need help with? I'm gonna start asking that.
Yeah. Or you can ask any other listings that are really difficult for you to sell, that I might be able to help you with.
That's good.
Because you have to come from service, right?
Yeah.
They need, if it's a no problem property, they don't need me.
Yeah, it's true.
So for sure. So Fridays, we're going to be able to do 4 to 6 Power Hour. Maureen said Ingryd schooled that agent. I love it. I mean, I had answers to her recast questions, her hoarder house, all kinds of stuff. Chris Monroe from STL said lead with value. Absolutely. I'm not at that computer, so I can't put your comments on the screen. But I can read it, and I'm going to read them out loud. So I appreciate you. Darren does deals, says y'all are rock stars. I agree. And then Deborah said she's going to be at Squad Up, and she can't wait to meet you guys. She's a part of Astro Flipping. So that's awesome. Do you guys get VIP?
We did.
Yeah.
I got VIP. What's that? VIP sold out.
Super sold out, yeah.
I will say the other tickets are still available. If you guys want a $250 discount, message me, Eddie or Tyler on Instagram, and we'll connect you with the right person. If there's any tickets left, I'm not sure how many are left.
They've been clearing them out pretty quickly. I didn't realize VIP was going to sell out that fast, and they sold out.
Yeah.
Not good, not
Yeah,
good, but
I'm
it is
glad I
good,
got it.
not good, because we have people that wanted it.
Yeah.
You know.
For sure. So Darren's going to be at Squad Up. That's awesome. We'll be there.
Yeah.
So besides being able to physically be here during Power Hour, because this podcast, I don't know why I was going to say webinar, is across the nation and wherever else people are watching this. I think I had somebody watching in the Middle East at one point.
Yeah.
But how else could people like squad up with us?
Man, so that's one of the biggest things for us. Just how you gotta understand something. Ingryd and the Bash Bros, we have done wholesale deals before. We did your first wrap, right?
Yeah, you guys gave me my first wrap.
Yeah, there you go. Right. So we did our first wrap together, and she's also I don't know if she wants me to say this out loud, but she is our private money lender.
Sugar mama.
Typically, okay, I gotta say. So typically, I say she's our sugar mama, one of our sugar mamas on some of our deals, right?
Uh-huh.
And so, meaning, for you that don't know that, or that you do know that but want to get more clarification, she's a private money lender for us as well. So we do a lot of deals together, right? And so that's why I think there's no other, powerful team that's going to be able to really drive more community, more excitement, more attention to everybody here in Arizona specifically, right? But if for us, we JV with we've helped a lot of people, underwrite people, close their deals, sell their deals, specifically nationwide. We mainly focus in Texas and Arizona for now, but we have buyers everywhere, right? So, but we are just really focusing and honing down in Texas and Arizona. But if you ever have any questions, have any deals that you're talking through and need help with, or you feel like there's a deal there, but you just can't get them over the finish line, reach out to Ingryd, reach out to Tyler, reach out to myself. We are here no matter what. BashBrosJV.com, BashBrosBooking.com. We're there. That's literally what we do. And anytime we ever need, anytime you ever need anything, just come hang out in our virtual office. We host it every day. We have people that just jump in here and there. They'll hang out. We'll teach people, again, talking with agents, exactly what you're doing. That's what we've been doing since the beginning of the year. And we actually helped a SubTo student that's been in SubTo for a year and a half that has been trying. And we finally gave her some very detailed instruction on what to go do and only focus on what it is that we told you to go do. And we just closed her first deal, and it brought in a $12,000 assignment.
That's fantastic.
Right? And so
that's exciting.
Super exciting. And I'll talk with you.
My favorite deals are the deals that I get to give somebody their first deal.
I know.
That's like my favorite. Don't you guys want to give me like my favorite thing? Like, like Oprah's favorite thing. She's got material shit. My favorite things is to give you guys your first deal.
Yeah.
So reach out. We definitely want to help you there. In the comments, we dropped the link. Let's see, Tamisa Power said, still hope to get a JV done in Utah. Let's do it, Tamisa. In the comments, there's a link. So we'll know if you're in the backstage, if you guys want to come up here and ask us questions. You may have to see my booty go back into the laptop and arrange that. But if you guys have questions, this is the time. As they say, time is money. So really, really appreciate and honor the fact that you guys are spending time away from your business here. Like, we're literally in their new beautiful office out here in Scottsdale. This really big room with desks and people working in it. And they've paused things just for you guys so they can answer questions for what you have in your business going on. So who out there has questions? Maybe you got a tough deal that you're trying to work through. Maybe you're trying to figure out, how do you help a seller? How do you get one of your transactions all the way to the end? Definitely let us know, and we can answer those questions. So in the meantime, what is your pipeline looking like now? So what you got?
Well, this year so far, it's been really well. I think this year we've now officially closed 2 more than we did last time. I think we're at 28 for the year so far.
Fantastic.
And we have, Brooke, how many do we have so far pending right now? 4 or 5? We have 4 in escrow right now with EMD deposited, so we're just waiting for those to close. The cool thing is we have this awesome like pad split house that we're doing in Mesa, which is going to be phenomenal.
Do you feel like you're starting to level up now?
Yeah, well, it's a different kind of level. It's actually scary. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's very nerve wracking because reality, it's like this huge project. We're talking about $180,000 projects that we're just like.
Stephen Hunt wants to know if you'll sell us another.
Yeah.
If it's too scary, we'll do it for you.
But the funny thing is first and foremost, right? I think we gave you 3 deals in 1 deal, which I'm super awesome. By the way. But no, we got that. It's gonna be a different ball game. We're excited about it because we want to start. We wholesale, we do all that fun stuff, but we want to get to a point where now we're gonna do. We don't want to just own rentals when you're making the $200-$300, right? Those are for the people that already have the W-2s that are making a lot of money that just want to park their money to start building up that nest egg over time. But for us, we do this full time. So when you're doing stuff like this full time, you have to have income, active income. So this pad split opportunity can, if everything works as we planned it, right? We have the opportunity to make anywhere between $9,000 to $12,000 in gross revenue just off this one house. Right? It's crazy, right? And so that's why it's like it's scary, exciting, because there's a lot of money to play with here or to like do, but it is going to be really fun and exciting. So we got that. We've done wraps. We sold our first note last year just to say we did. But yeah, I mean, it was.
I might buy a note.
You might buy a note.
So I have a seller who I owe a note to, but he's in such cash poor situation that I want to negotiate paying my note off.
Oh, there you go.
At like 20%.
Yeah, 100%. That's actually. So one of my uncles, he was telling me about stuff that he used to do back in the day. And
by the way, Prakash, we love you too.
Yeah, we love you, Prakash.
Brother.
But one of the things is like he told me, he goes, dude, like always give your number, even if you think it's outstanding. And that's exactly what happened with these Mesa properties. It's just you're just gonna go for the number. Worst case scenario is no. And if they get upset, then it is what it is, right? You move on to the next one. But
they can't take your birthday away.
Correct.
I always say that.
There you go, right? And so that's what he did. But he did that with apartment complexes, he did that with hotels, and he was flipping back in the 90s. And he was telling me a story, and it's crazy. But I learned a lot of ethics and like ethics, integrity, respect, loyalty from his stories that he told me and how he became so successful in the real estate world. And that was, number one, it's, having integrity, having trust, having always being and true to everyone around you and never sticking anybody ever. Right. So when you get these deals like Mesa and stuff like that, it's like reality is like, I could have, how many times I wanted just to tell you and Steven just saying, hey, how about this? I already sold it to you for this. Right. But I already signed it to you, but I already have another buyer for like 30 grand more. So why don't we make 30 grand together? Let's go. Right. But but again, I'm excited for you guys. I'm happy where that project, I'm excited to see where that project's going because that's going to be a lot of content too.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun.
Well, and I also think that we're going to push up the values in that neighborhood, and we're adding more value in that house that the other properties have not taken the time to do. Like we added an extra bathroom.
Nice.
We added a 4th bedroom.
Nice.
And that in that neighborhood, you mostly see 3 2s or 3 1s.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to actually make it more functional for a growing family.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, in that neighborhood, it's a blue collar family. So there's a lot of different family members in one house. So they actually prefer more bedroom counts because otherwise they'll make it work. Like when we bought this house, they made a bedroom out of the garage. Well, we reconverted back the garage to a garage. Give us that value that an appraiser will give you for a true garage. And then we added a bedroom in the back where they had their actual addition.
100%. I mean, I'm Mexican myself, and so like when you say that,
color.
yeah. So same thing, right? But reality is that we made like at one point. I remember growing up, we had aunt, uncle, grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, sister, brother, cousin, other aunt, other cousin. Like we had about like 13, 14 people, because when things hit the fan, your family's there for it, right?
Yeah.
So like stuff like this, if you can just wake up, get your stuff, go to work, come back, you know.
I live
That's
in
it.
Colombia. Okay?
Oh yeah, you
I had
can.
12 people in a 2-bedroom house,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
even exaggerating.
So that's
The
awesome.
nastiest bathroom ever because of it. But anyway, that's the story for another day.
Mhm.
So Tyler, tell us. So now as you're building your business, like what gave you so much confidence that you're like, Eddie, I'll do whatever you think we should do. Like, I'm curious about that, because to have a ride or die like that, and somebody who's so sympathetic to like, yo, what's happening like in your life, and now you're like, I'll go where you go.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is a little bit. I mean, I could thank him for just me being in real estate. It's 100% all him, because I was doing my own
Are
thing.
you a trader boy? Like, where
I
did you
was.
trade stock?
I was. I still dabble.
I still
dabble.
Yeah.
Still-
Oh, you still dabble?
I still dabble.
How about crypto?
Yeah. Oh, I love crypto.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I want to put some in crypto, but I'm scared.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
I'm like, I literally, what did I tell you the other day? I'm like, bro, take extra funds and you
Yeah.
just go do that. Don't let me touch it, because I'll
Yeah.
lose it.
now's not a good time because
Yeah.
it's at like pretty
The
high
highest.
peaks.
Mhm.
But yeah, you should have
But
put it in.
But here's what I'm
Couple months
thinking,
ago.
because people keep talking about you have crypto goes through the runs,
Mhm.
whatever. And I think of runs, I think I gotta go to the restroom, but apparently runs in crypto, that means you're creeping up.
Yeah. Bull runs.
Bull runs, thank you.
Yeah. The bull runs, not the runs.
So with bull runs, like you're supposed to like be prepared to exit.
Yeah.
But the way that not that I talk about my anxiety on like the webs, like this is just not, there's no room for it. There's plenty of people like spouting all of their anxiety, but just because of everything of what's happening with the dollar, war kind of on the precipice, all those other things, I'm like, okay, is there actually a run, or is that going to be the normal? And then there's going to be an actual run after that, simply because people are going to need access to their currency outside of the dollar.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm trying to learn a little bit all on my own. I'm watching people on Instagram. Maybe I should be contacting Tyler. And I'm like, well, this seems like maybe a safer place to stick some money.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Like I read some crazy statistic where all these like very wealthy people are getting their second citizenships, like New Zealand, all these other countries. And I'm like, well, I technically already have a second citizenship in Colombia. I have a house down there. No, not for taxes, for their passports.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just in case US.
Like,
Uh,
yeah. Which is scary to think, because
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a second, but I'm buying houses here. I finally have houses.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Bitcoin, yeah, I would put some money into it. This is not investing advice. This is just
Zero
This
investment.
is what I
Yeah,
have
zero,
done.
zero.
This is just what I've done. I've put money in Bitcoin and Ethereum because I do see the value of the dollar going down every single day.
yeah.
And what if Bitcoin becomes the new
Trading
nation? Yeah,
currency.
like what if that thing could go to 1 million?
Yeah.
And I want to personally have a little bit of that.
Yeah.
I don't have everything in there, but
You're diverse,
yeah,
which is like the healthy way of doing it, I think.
To some degree, though, because
Yeah.
I did hear someone say this. I did hear someone say people, yes, diverse when you get like
You have
more-
the money.
when you have the money,
to
right?
be
But when
diverse.
you're getting there, you
Yeah.
go all in.
Yeah.
And you go all in on one thing,
Yeah.
and then you start diversifying here and there.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard Alex Hormozy when he was talking
That's-
about where
that's what I
he was
heard
going to
from-
invest, and
that's what I
then
heard
Dave
from-
Ramsey was like, "Yeah, you're investing in businesses because you know businesses, so that makes sense. So if you know real estate,
Mhm.
wait till real estate gives you that flexibility to
Yeah.
be diverse. So
Yeah.
like,
100%.
I'm not quite there, but I will be calling you, Tyler.
Yeah.
I'll be calling you.
100%.
So Joanne Roundtree wants to know how do we get in touch with Bash Bros. So I'm gonna put it in the link again. It's JV with Bash.
No, Bash Bros.
Oh.
Bash Bros.
Sorry.
You can even do bashbrosbooking.com. We bought the domain bashbros.com, so we're in the process of
Why is
of
that not
doing
working?
our website.
Hang on.
All right, we're in the process of completing our website. So that should be live. We're hoping in the next like month or so. We just have a lot on our plate right now. So that should be live. But bashbros.com is going to be the soon link that's going to get you to everything that we have to do with us, right? But in the meantime, bashbrosjv.com, bashbrosbooking.com, it's the exact same thing. It'll get you the same thing. And I promise you, it's not a casting couch. It is legit us for anything that has to do with real estate.
Right. Cool. Very cool.
Caroline Cain's in the house.
No, silly. That was me.
Oh. That's you. What? Isn't that you?
So when you're on StreamYard, you're connected to all of your socials. So when you comment, it uses that one comment and posts it as everybody who's connected. So Caroline Cain and I was that one
So
comment.
you're catfishing us.
Yeah, a little bit. Actually, people get confused all the time.
Yeah,
when we're
clearly.
yeah. So it wasn't Caroline, it was Ingryd that posted, but that's because that's her YouTube page. That's
Got it.
too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know we were talking about this. You're hosting, but I know we got 9 minutes here. Definitely want to touch base on this. But back to the Arizona SubTo regional leadership positions that we were asked to become, right? We just found out some amazing, really fun, really cool, amazing news from SubTo in general, telling us that, hey, right? What?
Yeah.
I mean, you can say it if you like, but
you can say it.
but essentially, guys, if you're not part of SubTo, there's one thing that SubTo does. We have a lot of exclusive Zooms, a lot of exclusive meetups, a lot of exclusive stuff specifically for SubTo students so that we can continue engaging and interacting with one another and building that really solid community that we have within SubTo, right? But recently, one of the biggest things that all the leaderships that we all had continuous meetings, we have weekly meetings on, they came back and they've officially allowed us to open up our accountability Zooms every other Wednesday, which is the next Wednesday. That should be it.
Wait, are we going to do it during Spada?
But it's not, so it's going to be the weekend after that.
Okay.
Right. Take that back. So next week, right? And then it's every 2 weeks after that. But then also we're going to have an in-person meetup event for SubTo and now non-SubTo events. So if you're not part of SubTo and you just want to be a part of the people so that you can get that extra spark to then therefore get you over, guys, you're going to literally follow us, reach out to us. We'll send you all the information for that every other Wednesday.
Instagram message me, squad up. And what I will do is I'll make sure I have ways for you guys to connect with the Bash Bros and how you can join us during these accountability meetings, which are every other Wednesday. And so that you guys are on our email, we should be letting you guys know directly when we're having these events. I'm sure you don't catch my stories every time I'm posting hey, we're having a meetup. But yeah, all three of us have been named leaders out here, and we want to make sure that we give you guys as much value as possible.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
And not just that, guys, you don't have to wait for that one meetup that we're going to have every month, but every Friday, right? I'm telling you right now, there's other events that goes on and throughout and whatnot, but every Friday from 4 to 6 is strictly just dial and smile time. We come in and we'll break down sales processes. We'll break down everything that has to do with that. But that's if you want to make phone calls, right? That doesn't mean you can't come here, hang out, listen in, and also try to see how you can bring value or how you can get value in return.
Yeah.
So we have plenty of times, we've had plenty of Fridays that people show up and they don't want to do the cold calling or they don't want to do the calling at all, right? So they come and then we all just talk and we network. We have conversations together. We see how we can impact each other in many different ways. As a matter of fact, I just had a really cool SubTo student come over. He reached out to me, goes, "Hey, I'm here in Arizona, just joined. Would love to come hang out with you guys." He came on Friday, AZ Power Hour. We all talked. We had conversations. He left. I'm moving out of my house, right? And underneath the sink, I had to get some stuff prepared. And I asked him, I'm like, "Hey, dude," because he's a contractor. He remodels kitchens and bathrooms, right?
To Sean?
No, this is Santiago.
Oh.
And I'll give you guys information on him if you guys want him. But essentially, he's like, "Yo, I asked him for advice on how to fix his kitchen sink or underneath, how to break the wood or cut the wood out and stuff, and on how to do it. And quite honestly, I'm not a contractor, right? Do I love doing it? I'll challenge accepted, but sometimes you gotta defeat your
Who
ego.
not?
a little
Who
bit.
not?
Yeah. So I just asked him like, hey, like, can you send someone out here? And he goes, don't worry about it. Just get the material and I'll cover it, because I want to be surrounding myself with you guys and really getting to know what you guys are doing, how you're doing it. And so, because I want to start adding value in areas of my life to where I can now spend more time with my family and whatnot. So he came over, he finished the job, did an amazing job. I tried to pay him, but he's just like, no, do not pay me at all. I want you to show me and help me and whatnot. But the funny thing is that because we recorded, or I put up a video or a post, I literally had like 2 or 3 more clients reach out saying, or potential clients of his reach out saying, hey, I need someone for a bathroom remodel. I need someone for this. So that's what I'm saying, guys. Every Friday, get around the people, because what's holding you back is you, by not getting around other people that can potentially get you to your next client or 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So Pace talks about it all the time. Pace talks about it all the time, how he used to give as much free of his time, value, and roofing and all this stuff. There's a story about him and his roof that he went out and did the roof and took care of it. And next thing you know, who was that? Was that Trang? No,
Yeah,
it was Trang.
Steve Trang.
It was Steve Trang, right? He did just Steve Trang. And the next thing you know, Steve's like, who is this guy?
Come on my podcast.
Yeah, come on my podcast.
Yeah.
And that's when everything
changed for Pace.
right?
Yeah,
And-
yeah.
But that's what it is, right? So
Mhm.
that's what SubTo is so powerful, is because we're all here. We want to help each other, not just sit there and say, how can I make more money off of you and
Right.
take less money, or you take less money
Yeah.
so then I can make more money, right?
You know what I tell Steven? Because Steven Hunt's my fix and flipping partner, right? I say, I need you to be rich so I can be rich so we can stay friends.
Yeah.
So, investor queen Maureen, she wants to know, what's your biggest challenge when you're cold calling? Question for the both of you. Maybe it's more for you.
Biggest challenge when cold calling is just doing the work. I would say.
Doing the boring work.
Yeah, because
What's the boring work?
just
Pick up
picking
the
up the phone and making
Really?
calls. Like it's like
Isn't it all programmed for you and you just hit go?
yeah, but we don't really cold call anymore. But
Oh.
when we were, you have to have thick skin. Like you'll get cussed at, you'll get the nastiest names called
Yeah,
on you,
yeah.
and your ego gets hurt because of that.
Yeah,
But I think the hardest thing is just picking the phone up again and making a call and not
Yeah,
knowing if you're gonna get yelled at
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever, because that next call could be a deal.
yeah.
So
So
I
how
don't
do you
know.
help protect your mindset from that? Like I used to do this. I was like, God bless them. Like that's what I would say.
So I have 2 answers for you.
Yeah.
The first one is don't do it. Pay someone else to do it.
Oh, I see. Don't
Because
Yeah.
I don't know, it hurts my ego when I get yelled at and screamed at, and I'm
You're
not.
an empathetic guy. So you got to be a little bit like, what's that? But no, I was gonna say psychosis, like where you have disassociation. But yeah, never mind.
That's tough. I would say the other way is though getting around people, because then you can turn it into a game. If you have 5 or 6 people and you're all making calls and then someone answers, everyone else stops, and let's say you get screamed at, it's not just, oh, poor me, blah 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 blah. Now everyone can be there to be like, dude, that was a crazy call. Let's see if we can get someone else to yell at us even more on the next one.
Yeah.
So I don't know, just
I
community.
love that. That's great. Leverage your community.
100%.
Yeah. Darren Does Deal says Power Hour is fire. Y'all need to check it out. And then Stephen Hunt said he did the same with Jerry Norton. So when Pace was doing the let me fix your roof thing and not take anything
That's
for
smart.
it, that was
Yeah.
very smart of him. Very
Mhm.
cool. Well, boys, I thank you so much for being on the. I know we were a little bit late. We had some technical difficulties. Shit happens, but like true entrepreneurs, we made it work, right?
Mhm.
We moved the shit. We put where it all needed to be. I didn't have access to my full laptop, so but thank you guys so much for being here, taking the time to doing this. Like his little bracelet says, success is his duty. Is what that says, and so and it's a big duty.
Oh yeah.
So, so let's all. Am I the only one who thinks in poop jokes?
No, him all the time.
Okay.
All day.
I'm the 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway,
We're just being recorded for quality assurance purposes here.
but no, honestly, these are my boys. One of the things, or many things that I admire from you guys is that you're ethical, you're men of your word. I can trust you wholly, like seriously. It's why I'm in business with you. And when people say like, can you be my private money owner? I'm like, no, Bash Bros have all my money, but because they deserve to have all my money. So anyway, I just thank you guys. I'm so glad that we get to do this leadership thing together.
Yeah.
It probably means I'm going to have to be here on Fridays for Power Hour from 4 to 6 every Friday in Scottsdale.
Now
Send
that
you
you're
guys
free to
details.
do it.
Now that I'm free to do
Now
it,
there's no
absolutely.
excuse.
No excuse. Yeah.
Ingrid, where you at? Oh, I'm
No, for sure. And so make sure you guys are following them on Instagram. Give me your Instagram handles.
At the Tyler Townsley.
at Eddie EDDIEG Marin MARIN.
Okay, Eddie G. Marin, the Tyler Townsley, Ingryd _Hernandez. Follow us. Message us Squad Up if you want more details about Power Hour or possibly even going to Squad Up Summit, because I think there's a few more tickets. I'm not sure, but I do know that we all have access for a $250 discount for you. So thank you guys so much. We are very appreciative that you spent this hour with us. And if you have any questions, again, Instagram us. And we will see you next week, like every week on Wednesday, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Arizona time. I may or may not be on next week's podcast because we'll be at Squad Up Summit. But hey, maybe we will just record from out there because it's 7 p.m. then there in Florida.
Might be
So-
on, wait, what? It's on Wednesday. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern
No,
time.
you're VIP though, so you got dinners.
Oh, do I have
We
dinner?
have dinners.
I got dinners. All right. Well, I'm sure Caroline will fill in the role. But thank you guys. We'll see you guys next week, Wednesday, 4 p.m. Arizona time.
Thank you all for having us.
Ciao.